Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something huge. It's that feeling, ambiguity.
Oh, yeah. The overwhelm.
Exactly. Too many variables, data all over the place, a million opinions. You just get stuck in the noise.
Totally paralyzed.
But we've got an antidote today. It's this managerial superpower called framing.
Right. Framing is basically a conscious way to handle that big, messy, wide open situation.
Like whether it's a small project or a massive career change.
Doesn't matter. It's the process of organizing, simplifying all that chaos into something you can actually grasp, and crucially, something you can act on.
And the interesting thing is we kind of do this naturally, don't we? Our brains look for shortcuts.
Absolutely. We use analogies all the time. This project is in the ninth inning.
Or rules of thumb, like the 80-20 rule. Just to get going, sort of save mental energy.
And that's where it gets tricky. That shortcut can be dangerous. Relying only on gut analogies,
Yeah.
you might impose a totally wrong structure on the situation. The classic example, and it had, global consequences, was the Cold War domino theory.
Right. The idea that countries were like dominoes.
Yeah. If one falls to communism, the next one inevitably goes to. A simple analogy.
But a flawed one. And it drove decisions for ages.
It really did. It contributed to, well, disastrous strategies, Vietnam interventions elsewhere. It shows how high the stakes are for bad, unconscious framing. We mistake our simple model for reality.
Okay, so if our brains naturally do this, but it can go wrong, what's our mission today?
Our mission is to move beyond those unconscious habits. We're going to look at 4 specific, rigorous framing techniques.
Techniques used by senior executives.
Exactly. Tools designed specifically to reduce that risk of fooling ourselves and our teams.
Okay. And you mentioned they're deceptively simple.
They really are. They look easy, maybe less impressive than some giant spreadsheet model, but they work. They cut through that analysis paralysis.
Get people unstuck.
And moving towards a shared understanding. Quickly.
All right, let's dive in. The first one tackles that feeling of just too much information.
Technique 1, the menu of options. Yeah, exactly. When you're just swamped by factors, scenarios, data,
What do?
you actually skip the analysis for a moment, and you ask one key question focused on action. What are the small number of practical actions I'd actually consider taking?
Okay, I like the action focus, but hang on. If I'm paralyzed, why is the first option you always suggest do nothing? Isn't that just giving in?
It's not giving in. It's about establishing the baseline. You have to consciously consider the status quo. Calling it do nothing forces you to really analyze it and calculate the cost of inaction. It sets up the trade-offs right away.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not procrastination as a benchmark.
Precisely. I had a colleague, he was completely stuck on international expansion, 5 different consultant reports, all conflicting. Franchising, JVs, legal nightmares.
Total paralysis.
Yeah.
The classic more paper solves the paper problem trap.
Exactly that. So we used the menu. Option 1, leave things alone, do nothing. Distributors are actually growing okay.
Right, the baseline.
Option 2, the sort of light touch, create a standard marketing and operations kit, do some inspections, but don't fundamentally change the structure.
Okay. And the third, the bigger move.
Acquisition. Option 3 was go acquire the bigger established distributors in key markets. Belgium, Italy, Normandy. Send a clear signal.
Wow. So that just collapses potentially endless analysis into 3 real choices.
It makes it concrete. You immediately see the trade-offs. Cost of doing nothing versus the complexity of the investment of the other 2.
And you mentioned option value before. Can you break that down quickly?
Sure. Option value is basically asking, if I choose option A now, does it kill my ability to do option B or C later?
Ah, okay.
So if doing that light touch option 2 for 6 months still leaves the door open for acquiring them later, option 3, then option 2 has high option value. If it closes doors, it's riskier.
Got it. That clarifies the trade-off thinking really well. Okay, so trade-offs. That leads nicely to the next big challenge. Guessing about the future. The fear of the unknown.
Which brings us to technique 2, what you have to believe, or WIHTB for short.
WYHTB. Okay.
This one's about sort of reverse engineering the decision, especially for yes-no choices where the outcome is uncertain, like launching a new product.
So instead of guessing, will it succeed?
You flip it. You ask, what specific things would I have to believe are true to make doing X actually a good idea?
Hold on, let me push back a bit here. If the future's unknown, aren't I just swapping one guess? Like, how many sales will we get for another guess? Like, is it plausible we'll get that many sales? How's that really different?
It's a subtle but crucial shift. It moves you from pure speculation to informed judgment.
Explain that.
Okay, take a classic business case. You want to spend $600,000 on a new mobile app.
Right.
And let's say your company policy is that project need to pay back in under 3 years.
Okay, so $200,000 profit per year needed.
Exactly. Now, let's say your profit margin on revenue from this app is expected to be 25%.
So $200 K profit divided by 0.25. That means $800,000 in new sales per year.
Correct. Now, the question changes. It's not the fuzzy, what will the app sell?
Right.
It becomes the much more concrete, judgmental question. Do we believe, given our customers, our marketing, the competition, that generating $800,000 in new sales annually is plausible?
Ah, I see. That's a question a management team can actually debate with experience and data,
Yeah.
not just crystal ball gazing.
Exactly. You're testing the threshold for success, not predicting the exact outcome.
That's clever. And I know this WIHTB is sometimes called hard things first, especially with startups.
Same core idea.
Yeah.
Think about a startup, maybe like that old Swapfish idea, a site for donating luxury goods.
Right.
They face lots of operational hurdles,
Mm.
cleaning donations, shipping, photos.
Mm.
But those are mostly solvable, right?
Yeah, logistical stuff.
But the real make or break question, the hard thing they have to believe, it's can we actually get enough people to donate good quality stuff cost effectively?
Ah, the core supply assumption.
Exactly. If they can't prove that belief, then all the other operational plans are irrelevant. WIHTB forces you to tackle the most critical, uncertain assumption first.
Okay, so WIHTB defines the target we must hit. That focus on an ideal or maybe a necessary condition connects really well to the third technique, doesn't it?
It does. Technique 3, zero base. This is your weapon against inertia, against we've always done it this way.
You need a big change but feel stuck by history.
Precisely. You ask, if I were starting this completely from scratch today, no history, no current team structure, zero constraints, what would the perfect solution look like?
Okay, but I can see executives pushing back. If I design this perfect ideal system, but it needs, say, $100 million IT overhaul we can't afford, haven't I just wasted time on a fantasy?
Not at all. You haven't designed the pathway yet. You've designed the destination. The point isn't necessarily to build that perfect thing tomorrow.
It's to break the mental constraints of the present.
Exactly. It stops you from just tinkering around the edges of the current flawed system. Think about, say, a quality assurance team in a medical device company. They need to cut costs by 30%, but they're stuck looking at their current org chart, their current processes.
Which maybe only lets them see tiny 5% cuts here and there.
Right. Zero base forces them to imagine. What would the ideal modern QA system look like? Maybe heavily automated reporting, different role structures. Assume you had the perfect IT.
Okay, so they design that ideal future state.
Then, only then, do they look back at today's reality and figure out the migration path. Okay, we can't do it all at once, but maybe we can automate these 3 reports this year. And maybe we can group these activities into leaner roles next year. It lets us see the fundamental shifts needed.
It provides the North Star, even if the journey is incremental. Okay, powerful. Now, what about when things are just completely off the rails, pure chaos?
For that, you need technique 4, the tennis player. This is for triage, pure and simple.
Like when you first start a job or a company and everything's flying at you.
Exactly. The core philosophy is simple. Great executives make small decisions quickly and big decisions well. When you're facing that overflowing inbox of urgent, diverse problems, your only goal is to hit the ball back across the net.
Meaning, just keep things moving. Don't try to solve everything perfectly right now.
Precisely. Just move each issue forward one step. You don't need the perfect answer today.
How? What does that look like?
You might use the good enough test. Like, if you're a startup founder needing basics, an LLC, business cards, a website, don't spend months perfecting the logo.
Get something decent done quickly and move on. Done is better than perfect.
Exactly. It's done then right for those smaller things. Then for bigger, riskier things, you build in safety nets.
Like running pilot programs.
Yes. Before you spend a fortune on consultants for a new sales deck, maybe you mock up a basic version yourself and try it out on a few friendly customers first. See if the core message even works.
Makes sense. Test the waters.
Or build in return policies for big commitments. Hiring a key technical partner, for example. Maybe you structure it with a 90-day trial or have equity vest only after year 1.
So you have an escape hatch if it doesn't work out.
You acknowledge you might be wrong, but you've planned for it. You hit the ball back, kept the game moving, but didn't bet the farm unnecessarily.
These 4 frames menu, WYHTB, zero-base, tennis player, they feel like a really practical toolkit. Let's try applying them to a classic pressure cooker situation. Robin Gilchrist at Yellowtail Marine.
Oh yeah, that's the ultimate ambiguity overload case study. It's intense.
Right. She gets hired as EVP. The founder immediately dies. She has maybe 2 hours before a board meeting.
And this massive pile of urgent issues lands on her desk, the in basket. Plus, she's expected to present a preliminary strategic plan.
In 2 hours. And the company context is grim. Sales are down in their main powerboat market.
Raw material costs are up. The industry's consolidating.
The only bright spot is this niche market for customized police and game boats. Meanwhile, all the experts are saying the real growth is in sailboats, especially trailer sailors, like 15–20% growth predicted.
Okay, so first things first.
Yeah.
That inbox. She has to use the tennis player. Immediately.
No time for deep dives on each item.
None. Item 14. OSHA is literally in the lobby demanding a plant tour. Item 16. An insurance cancellation notice. She can't solve these in 10 minutes.
So return the ball.
Exactly. What needs to be done? By whom? By when? Delegate the OSHA tour to the plant manager, get an update scheduled, assign someone to call the insurance broker now, triage complete, ball is back over the net.
Okay, inbox handled, crisis averted for the moment. But the strategic plan for the board, triage isn't enough there.
No way. That needs a fundamental frame. She needs zero base combined with WYHTV.
How so?
Yellowtail's history, its identity is all power boats. Zero base forces the question. If we were starting Yellowtail today, knowing the market trends, would we even be in power boats? Or would we design the perfect company to capture that booming trailer sailor market?
Confronting the historical bias head on.
Yes. And WYHTB helps test the existing strategy. What would she have to believe about the declining powerboat market and their competitive position to make sticking with it the right call versus pivoting to sailboats?
Wow. It takes this impossible situation and gives her concrete ways to think and act. Powerful. Okay, let's pivot ourselves now. We've talked business ambiguity. What about interpersonal ambiguity? Workplace conflict.
Ah, yes. The temptation there is always strong to use the simplest frame possible.
Which is?
Oh, it's just a personality conflict.
Right. They just don't get along. It feels easy.
It is easy. Psychologists call us cognitive misers. Our brains want the simplest explanation to save energy. And blaming personality is always faster than digging into complex situational factors.
But it's usually wrong, or at least incomplete, isn't it? It feels like a trap.
It's often organizational quicksand, exactly. Relying on personality clashes, or worse, bringing in things like Myers-Briggs or Enneagram tests.
Which have their own debatable reliability.
Right. It distracts from the real potential causes. Are there opposed interests, like sales versus risk? Are roles unclear? Are incentives misaligned? Maybe pitting people against each other? Is there just a lack of accountability?
Fix the situation, not the person.
Often, yes. Fix the structural issues, the misaligned goals, the unclear roles, and suddenly the personality conflict just evaporates.
Okay, so if blaming personality is the wrong frame, what's a better one for navigating tricky work relationships? Let's take the most critical one. The relationship with your own boss.
The best frame there is mutual dependence. That's the reality.
Meaning?
Your boss depends on you for your reliability, your expertise, your output, and you depend on your boss for resources, information, priorities, connections to the wider organization. It's a two-way street.
So it's not just about the boss managing the subordinate.
No. Because of that mutual dependence, the subordinate that's you has a primary responsibility to actively manage that relationship. Managing up.
Okay, managing up. What does that actually require? It sounds difficult.
It starts with intense self-awareness. You have to understand your own default stance towards authority figures.
How do you mean?
Are you naturally counter-dependent? Do you instinctively see the boss as an adversary, someone to be resisted, challenged, proven wrong?
Or the opposite.
Or are you over-dependent? Do you see the boss as this all-knowing, all-wise parent who should just magically understand your needs and solve all your problems?
Neither sounds very effective.
Because neither is realistic. Both frames ignore that the boss is usually just a busy, fallible human being under their own pressures.
Right. Okay, so step one is know yourself. Step two.
Know your boss. Not their personality type, but their context.
Yeah.
What are their goals? What pressures are they under from their boss? What's their preferred style of getting information?
Like the classic listener versus reader distinction.
Exactly. Do they want a detailed memo they could read beforehand, or do they prefer a quick verbal briefing where they can ask questions? Adapting to their style is crucial.
So know yourself, know your boss's context and style. Yeah. Then what? What are the actions?
Keep them informed, proactively. Especially with bad news, don't let them get blindsided. Use the communication method they prefer.
Okay. No surprises.
Establish clear, mutual expectations. Don't just assume you know their priorities or how they measure success for you. Ask. Clarify.
Be dependable, obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And critically, be selective about using their time and resources. Your boss's time, attention, and political capital are limited.
Don't pry wolf over minor issues.
Exactly. Don't burn your blue chips, your credibility,
No.
on trivial internal squabbles. Save your requests for their intervention for the things that truly matter, the critical roadblocks only they can remove. Focus on the core dependencies of that mutual relationship.
This has been, well, a really clarifying deep dive. We went from the fog of ambiguity and information overload.
To these 4 really concrete framing tools: menu of options, what you have to believe, zero base, and the tennis player.
And then we reframed conflict away from just personality towards understanding the situation and managing that key relationship with your boss based on mutual dependence.
Framing really is the antidote to that feeling of being overwhelmed and stuck. It pushes you from confusion towards clear thought and ultimately action.
So here's a final thought for you, the listener. The next time you're facing ambiguity, whether it's a complex project, a fuzzy goal, or even a difficult working relationship, try applying WYHTB, what you have to believe, to your own behavior.
That's an interesting twist.
What would you have to believe about your own strengths, your weaknesses, maybe your own default stance towards authority to be truly effective in that situation, to manage up effectively, to focus on the core problem and not get lost in the noise?
That takes some real honesty, applying that frame internally. Asking what you'd have to believe about yourself to succeed, that could unlock a whole new perspective. Try it. See what shifts for you.